Hello students, good morning. Today we will discuss the part 3 of class 9 topic that is quadrilateral. So here we will include all the remaining concepts of the topic. Before this you have watched already, it's part 1 and part 2 where we have starting from introductory of the topic. We have done its type of quadrilaterals and mainly, and then related facts like properties of parallelograms, converse property of parallelogram, and then in the part 2 we have learned that how a given quadrilateral with some conditions can be proved as parallelogram, rhombus, rectangle and square, etc. Now in this episode of part 3 quadrilateral we will discuss the remaining parts of the concepts of this topic, where mainly we will include about the theorems to be proved, as well as the motivations which is required for solving the exercise problem. So without wasting time, we just start to prove the theorem. One theorem as per our syllabus is prove that a diagonal of a parallelogram divides it into two congruent triangles. So here is students, you can view the statement is written, and on that basis the given is shown a quadrilateral, a parallelogram ABCD whose one diagonal VD has been joined, to prove that triangle ABD will congruent to triangle CBD. For this there is no construction required for proving this theorem, so let us take directly the step of proof, that taking in triangle ABD and triangle CBD as angle 1 is equal to angle 2 being alternate interior angle, similarly angle 3 equal to angle 4 again being alternate interior angles, and BD equal to BD common. So by taking the concept A as A congruence condition, triangle ABD congruent to triangle CBD, and it is required to prove. Now we take the second theorem, which is very popular and usually frequently it is asked in the exam in this way, that state and prove midpoint theorem. So here when it is asked in this way, that state and prove, it means you have to write the statement yourself and then that statement should be proved. So first of all we should memorize its statement, that the statement goes like this. The line segment joining midpoints of any two sides of a triangle is parallel to third side and is equal to half of the third side. This is popularly known as midpoint theorem, and it has a wide applications in solving the exercise problem. Mainly if you discuss about NCERT exercise, then exercise 8.2 is entirely based on midpoint theorem, and later on we will see one motivation of converse of this midpoint theorem. You know, students, in our syllabus some are given as a theorem where we need to prove it also, and some are given as motivations which we should know only, but we shouldn't prepare its proof, because motivation means only to know about that statements, so that exercise can be solved. So now, after stating the midpoint theorems, I revise it that the line segment joining midpoints of any two sides of a triangle is parallel to third side and is equal to half of the third side. So now let us try to prove it. So on the basis of first we will list here that what is given and what is to be proved. So as you see in the given figure, so a triangle ABC is given where just a minute, where P and Q are the midpoints of its side AB and AC respectively. To prove that if we join P and Q, that is midpoint of two sides, then PQ will be parallel to third side BC of the triangle and PQ will equal to half of third side, that is BC. So we have to prove two things. One, PQ parallel to BC, and other, PQ is equal to half of BC. For this here construction is required. Student, in proving some theorems we need to construct in the given figure, and in some it doesn't. So here construction is, we will produce PQ up to point R such that PQ is equal to QR, and we then join RC. Now its proof part is taking triangle APQ and triangle CQR. Angle 1 equal to angle 2, vertically opposite angles. Again AQ equal to QC, given that Q is the midpoint of AC, and PQ is equal to QR. By construction we have taken. So it comes SAS axiom for congruence. So by SAS congruence axiom, triangle APQ congruent to triangle CQR. Therefore by simplicity we can list angle 3 equal to angle 4 and AP equal to CR. Now when we write CPCT angle 3 equal to angle 4 as being the alternate interior angles, so it indicates that AP is parallel to CR, and we know, student, the produced part or the cut part of a parallel lines is also parallel. So AP is parallel to C. This implies that AB also parallel to CR, and this also implies that PB parallel to CR. Now the second part is of CPCT, AP equal to CR. Since AP is previously equal to PB, as it is given that P is the midpoint of AB, so in lieu of AP we can write P. Then the result comes PB equal to CR. Now we compare these two results. Which two results? One is we have brought PB parallel to CR, and another is PB equal to CR. Now if you implement these two parts, results in the quadrilateral PBCR, then what is here? One pair of opposite sides PB and CR are parallel as well as equal. So already we have seen in second part of this topic that if only one pair opposite sides of a quadrilateral parallel and equal, then by necessary and sufficient condition that quadrilateral a parallelogram become a parallelogram. So here quadrilateral PBCR, now it is a parallelogram, and when it is parallelogram, then its opposite sides will be parallel as well as equal. So we can write that PR is parallel to BC as well as PR is equal to BC. Now take the first result, PR parallel to BC. This implies that its smaller part will also be parallel. So PQ parallel to BC. This proved our first part. Now taking the second result, where we have told that PR is equal to BC, by splitting the PR we can write PQ plus QR, which is equal to BC, or in the next step PQ plus PQ. It means in the place of QR we will use PQ, because by construction we have already taken PQ equal to QR. So now PQ plus PQ is equal to BC, that is 2PQ equal to BC, hence PQ equal to half of BC. So this also proved the second part. So this is the required proof, and in this way we can prove it, which is called midpoint theorem. And hope student it is very clear. Now what you will do, you will have to make your practice of these theorems, how it is proved. Just memorizing its statement from the statement, and 2 times 3 times without seeing, try to write this theorem proof, so that in exam you may write this way. Now let us see what remaining things are there. So this is one page where midpoint theorem is given. So as I stated earlier that we have to prove some theorems, and we have to know only the motivation of some theorem. So under motivation it has been given in our curriculum. So let us try to understand that what is the converse of theorem. So here the statement is like this, that a line segment is drawn from the midpoint of one side of triangle going parallel to a side of triangle, then where it meets the third side is also midpoint of third side. This is called converse of midpoint theorem. It has also widely used, it will be widely used in solving the NCERT exercise 8.2, where very good questions are given, which will be proved on the basis of converse of midpoint theorem. So taking one figure, let us explain what is said in the converse of midpoint theorem. Or let we have a triangle ABC, where M is given as midpoint of one side AB, and from this midpoint a line segment MN is going, which is parallel to another side of triangle BC, which meets the third side AC at point N. Then by taking the converse of midpoint theorem, N will be the midpoint of third side AC, that is AN will now equal to NC. We can also understand this just changing slightly in the statement, as that the line segment drawn from the midpoint of one side of a triangle going parallel to another side of triangle will bisect the third side. That is, where it will meet, it will be the midpoint, and quite natural, when a line segment meets at midpoint, then that line segment is bisected by it. So we can state in this way also that it bisects the third side. Now, a student here one concept which we already have discussed what is called necessary and sufficient condition for a parallelogram. That one rule is there already we have discussed in this part 2, but again since it is written here, so let us explain once more that what is N and S conditions. According to this, the statement is like this, that if only one pair of opposite sides of any quadrilateral is parallel and equal, then by N and S condition that quadrilateral will become a parallelogram. This is called necessary and sufficient condition. So here such unique name is given due to one reason, that before this rule we were using in making given quadrilateral as a parallelogram, we were using both pairs of opposite sides, either making them parallel or making them equal. Now this statement says that no, is it not necessary? It is only necessary that you take only one pair of opposite sides and make it parallel and equal, then it is sufficient to the quadrilateral will become as a parallelogram. So that's why such name is given. So it is very popularly known as necessary and sufficient conditions for a quadrilateral to be a parallelogram. So here student, we have finished all the concept related with quadrilateral topic. Now our writer problems are there to solve each and every questions given in the NCERT. Especially if you solve NCERT book completely, you will be able to solve any other book up to 90% of questions, because total questions are based on NCERT. In exam also our main focus is to ask questions from NCERT. Yeah, some questions in other books also given of different type. Some may be of challenging type, some may be of easier type. So all other books have more collection in comparison to NCERT. As you know, our NCERT book is not a practicing book. It is only a reference book which states about the curriculum, which guides us about which type of questions should you prepare. So don't avoid your NCERT book. Being the student of CBSE board, the prescribed book for CBSE curriculum is our NCERT book, and in state it is our SCERT book. So which is really a very nice book, having a limited number of questions given in each exercise, but all the questions are of equally important and are of different concept involving. So if you solve only 5 questions of NCERT, it means you have got 5 different concepts, because in solving these 5 questions we need all the 5 concepts related to that topic. So enjoy our students, watch this, and don't forget to subscribe it, to share with your friends, teachers, as well as your parents, and tell them to subscribe also, so that my new upcoming video will be given its notification to you all. And have a nice day. Okay student, we will meet again in the next upcoming video. So don't forget to write your valuable suggestion, comments, what you feel about my video, so that will encourage us also. And I always entertain your suggestions. I used to reply always. I used to take proper response of everyone. Either they are giving me feedback in the form of its a correction for its slackness, or one who is giving its comment regarding its praise. Both I am for both of them. I always used to give equal remarks, equal weightage, equal respects to all the suggestion. I never mind that some subscribers has made negative comment. No, that will be better for me if you write its negative part, that such sir, so such and such suggestion I wish to give you, so that it will be felt by other students also in a nice way. So thanks again once again.